Hi there, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra. Digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank. Let's go. Coming up, Shai Osudoku Hospital still bleeding after bloody gun battle between armed men on its premises.
The bullets started flying. I mean, boom, boom. That was fearful. So everybody started running.
We'll hear more from doctors as they demand increased security. Also, RTI coalition storms Parliament to protest MPs delaying passing of the Right to Information law.
You know it's not right, but this place is a noble house. This gentleman is properly dressed. You are properly dressed. I can't say anything. You understand? So where is properly? Where is properly? So we go. We do not wear shirts outside now. You know, we are allowing you in, but.
And Gas South Municipal Engineer says most of the residents living on the Weja Kasua Ridge do not have permits, describing the place as a dangerous one.
So practically, it's not good for them, anybody to live around there, because the rock is not very strong for building to be sited around that area. Most of them doesn't have permit.
More as some mansions hang dangerously after their foundations were chipped away by running water.
And coming up later in sports, the Confederation of African Football has announced nominees for the various categories of the 2018 awards, with Black Stars midfielder Thomas Partey, maiden skipper Mukarama Abdullah, and Black Queens duo Portia Boache and Elizabeth Ado all nominated.
Also in this bulletin,
put on your condom, protect this kingdom. Protection before the action. Abstention prevents abortion.
Does this generation care less about the reality of HIV?
If they put on the condom, they don't enjoy it. And then that's definitely the one raw.
So you just want to do it before she changes her mind.
We've got details. I'm Bernice Abubedulansa. Do stay. Today we start from Dodowa near Accra. The Shai Osudoku Hospital there is still bleeding after armed men attacked the facility.
The bullets started flying. I mean, boom, boom. And that was fearful. So everybody started running. In the battlefield, what do you understand? You don't care where the bullet is coming from. Yeah. All you want to care about is safety. You want to find out where the bullet is coming from. No, you want to run for safety. So everybody started running. Staff, patients, but I refuse to run.
That's the medical superintendent of the Shai Osudoku Hospital, Dr. Kennedy Brightson, describing the attack on the hospital. Joy News is learning that two armed groups fighting over a parcel of land extended their gunfights to the premises of the hospital Wednesday. Dr. Brighton says one of the factions tried to get access to the emergency unit of the hospital to cause more harm to their opponent, who had already suffered machete wounds and were being treated. He adds unarmed security personnel at the hospital had to use benches to block them as staff and patients fled for their lives.
I just said no. Somebody, if you're a leader, you must always be a leader. Somebody has to face the people. But interestingly, a certain group of people, I'm sure from town also, came to cordon me. So they stood, about three of them stood in front of me and stretched their hands together, kind of protecting me. And they were saying they want me to be safe, I should move to safe grounds, they want me to go into the ward somewhere and relax, I should go to the office, and I don't want to be told the story. I want to be there myself. I have a staff to protect. I must be there. If I run away, then I leave my staff. Who saves them? So let them run away. Let my staff run away, which most of them did. But if my staff run away, and I also follow them on my heels, then we have opened up the hospital to attack. So I kept shouting, kept talking. You got to stop. You need to stop the gunshots. You can't do that at the hospital premises. Then we grabbed those who were wounded. We brought the stretchers, we carried them, and my friend, The ground was like the Red Sea. There was blood on the ground, and everybody was walking in the blood.
You heard Medical Superintendent of the Shire Osudoku Hospital, Dr. Kennedy Brightson. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba is at Shire Osudoku now and joins us live. Maxwell, have you been speaking to the police, and what have they been telling you?
We are learning the violence was between two factions, as you already mentioned. One of them loyal to an estate developer, the other made up of some residents of the area where the first clash took place. We are told the residents had earlier reported to the police that an estate developer, their estate developer was forcibly taking their land from them. After interrogations and vetting of documents by the police, they realized that the estate developer had genuine documents. The estate developer had gone to the parcel of land when the situation escalated into a machete and a gunfight. We are told that 2 people are currently receiving treatment at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. 9 people involved in the violence have been remanded and are set to appear on 6th December. We can hear from the Dodowa Divisional Commander.
The 2 factions which were involved in the incident, most of them have been arrested. And because their constitutional demand not to keep somebody behind bars for more than 48 hours, the crime officer put them before the district court, and they have been remanded.
Commander, can you help us understand what really the whole issue is about?
There was an estate developer who has, according to the surface of the documents he's having in his possession, acquired a piece of land here. So he went there to prepare the land for development. He informed the district commander. And before that, when he went there, those residents at that place came to the district headquarters that somebody has come to take their land. So the district commander invited the estate developer for questioning. And according to the district commander, the estate developer produced all documents that the district commander demanded or wanted to see at the time. However, the residents at that place who came to report that somebody has come to take their land were not able to produce any document.
Maxwell, we heard Dr. Brightson earlier complain about security at the Shire Osudoku Hospital. You visited the place today. Any changes?
Well, not much that we saw. The only people we saw there were the private security personnel, on the ground, and we are told that they are paid from the IGF of the hospital. So really, not much has changed. And in fact, I put that question to the Dodowa Divisional Commander, and he was telling me that this is just one of the many cases, an isolated case they've actually received. So it's not that the hospital is in a state of insecurity at this point. He thinks that everything is calm, everything is running smoothly, and he wants the hospital to actually put in a formal request if they want them to provide additional or provide men to protect them.
Thank you, Maxwell Agbagba, there on this rather disturbing story. Let's head next to Parliament because members of the RTI coalition were early today blocked from entering the chambers. The coalition declared today Red Friday as part of a campaign to push for the passage of the Right to Information Bill into law. We'll be live in Parliament shortly, but first, my colleague Mamavio Owusu-Abuaje was with members of the RTI coalition early today at Ridge here in Accra.
We set out to get the public involved in the Right to Information campaign. For many, many years, this bill has been in Parliament, actually for well over 16 years, and we think that it's about time that it's passed. We've gotten promises from Parliament for years and years, and we think that perhaps if we get citizens involved, if we get them to understand what the benefits of a right to information are, and they start to pressurize their representatives in their local areas, just maybe we might get some action from Parliament.
Okay, so explain to us what the response has been. Is everybody receiving it?
There's been a mix of responses. There are people who say we've heard about this for so many years that we don't even understand why it still hasn't been passed. There's some people who are incredulous that it hasn't been passed.
Finally, what are you hoping they will do with the flyers and the stickers?
We're hoping that people will put them in the back of their cars, that they will pass them on after they have read them.
Mamavi Owusu-Aboagye there speaking to Juliet Amoah, a member of the RTI coalition, and many members of the coalition are clad in red today, and it's all because they want the RTI passed. We'll be taking you live to Parliament shortly, but before that, let's take you to the Weija Kaswa Ridge, because we are learning that many homeowners there have put up their buildings without permit. The EPA, in its latest caution, urged residents to relocate because the area is prone to a major disaster. A visit by John News showed mansions hanging dangerously, having had their foundations washed away. Municipal authorities say most of the buildings there are in danger. Maxwell Agbaba visited the area, and here's his report.
I am at the peak of the Weija Kaswa Ridge. Mensa Moses, a resident, is sitting very close to a seamstress operating under one of the trees in the area. Mensa says he enjoys the scenery from the top of the ridge, even though he is aware of the warning from the Environmental Protection Agency. He, however, says he is not perturbed.
Because of the warning that, so you feel that it can happen. Every dies, all die, we die. Like Nanado say, all die, we die. So when you are at the down there, the earthquake, you can die. The same thing, this place too, you can die.
Meet Isaac Kweku Oten Apia, who has a shop just beneath the ridge. He says on numerous occasions, he sees trucks carting rocks and sand from the ridge and further heightening the risks the EPA has been cautioning residents about.
They go there, they buy the sand to sell to people who are doing their failing. They sell to them, and which is a dangerous tool to the society.
Experts say quarrying and the collection of silt from the ridge for building purposes have destroyed its foundation, causing deep gullies with the possibility it could trigger a mudslide. Municipal engineer for the Gas South Assembly, Felix Ofusu-Tay, says the Weija Kaswa Ridge is a dangerous place to live.
So practically it's not good for anybody to live around there, because the rock is not very strong for building to be sited around that area. But that place is very dangerous for them to build. Most of them doesn't have permit. People building on the hill, they are not permitted to build over there. But talking about demolition, there's a process where they have to for demolition to take place.
Maxwell Agbagba with that report. Now, a 2018 report by the National AIDS Control Program has reviewed new HIV infections in Ghana recorded an alarming 70.15% increase in just 1 year. Experts say the soaring infection figures come down to the failure of young people to use condoms or check their statuses. Ahead of World AIDS Day celebration tomorrow on the theme, Know Your HIV Status, John News' health desk speaks to the young and old about HIV testing. Joseph Akable is on this beat for us.
Put on your condom, protect this kingdom. Protection before the action. Abstention prevents abortion.
Songs composed to create awareness about HIV could be heard on many media platforms in the early 2000s. Billboards were spread across the country with messages such as AIDS is real, use a condom. But fast forward to 2018, a lot has changed.
If they put on the condom, they don't enjoy it. Definitely, they want it raw. It depends on who you have it with.
I think this problem has to do with the ladies. When a lady is with you in the bed, and then that particular moment when you want to get into her, and then when you stop, she's going to change her whole mood. And each of the moments she just want to do it before she changes her mind.
The fear of HIV seems to be the least of the concerns of young people these days.
When you get a woman for the first time, like you're in a hurry to, so he doesn't care if she has sexual transmitted disease. He's just interested in what he's going to do.
Some people feel like they can't wait. They just want to get off or something.
What could account for this? Is the perceived decline in HIV awareness to blame? The Ghana AIDS Commission in April 2016 appealed for financial support, saying it is cash-strapped. Then Director General Dr. Angela L. Adas said, quote, as a result of Ghana's lower middle income status, donor support for the Commission to manage the national response has declined, end quote. In 2018, a report by the National AIDS Control Program revealed new HIV infections in Ghana have recorded an alarming 70.15% increase in just 1 year.
My name is Inusa Adam. I have never taken the HIV test,
The two have for years lived in Mamobi. They don't see any reason why they should check their status. The latest UNAIDS report states that 9 million people around the world do not know their status. Head of Monitoring and Evaluation at the West African Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens, Dr. Osborne Quay, believes this is partly to blame for the increase in cases being recorded in Ghana.
It is not good to say that you know the symptoms and you don't have to test it, because it takes a while for the symptoms to show up. And that waiting period, transmission can still go on. So you may not know you are infected until your immune system starts going down, and by which time all the symptoms that comes with full-blown HIV AIDS will now be expressing. So it's best to rather test and know your status early so that you don't wait until late to do the testing to know your status.
The United Nations has chosen as its theme for the 2018 AIDS Day celebration, Know Your HIV Status. The fight to create awareness about HIV continues. Joseph Akable, Joy News, Legon.
Oh my people, it's not on, it's not in. If it's not on, it's not in. You can wait until
Remember to check your status tomorrow if you haven't done that recently. Now, Assistant Superintendent of Police Emmanuel Ashlevi, who was shot and killed during the Kwabena Police Station jailbreak, has been honored by the police service together with 12 others who all died in the line of duty. Elton Brobe was at that particular event and joins us with details. Hello, Elton.
Hi, Benny.
So tell us more about this event and why it was organized in the first place.
So this was a very solemn event. 13 police officers were immortalized, and one after the other, their names were mentioned. Their family members were there. They couldn't hold back their tears. It was a very solemn occasion. No speeches at all, but the sadness on the faces of the family members was enough to tell that they had actually lost a dear one. The Police Memorial Day was first celebrated in 2014. In a maiden celebration, all officers who qualified for the honors prior to the day were immortalized. 2 years later, in 2016, a cenotaph was inaugurated for the purpose of cresting a wall of honor. Today's event, 13 who died in the line of duty, their names were immortalized on this particular wall. Family members had the opportunity to exchange pleasantries with President Akufo-Addo, senior police officers, and the military. Some through armed robbery, some through, motor accidents, and some other incidents that led to their ultimate, demise. So one after the other, they were called upon, some were promoted posthumously, and their names inscribed on this particular wall, which is signifying the strength and honor of the Ghana Police Service, according to the Inspector General of Police.
Elton Brobe there. Thank you so much for those details. You're listening to the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Benis Abubeidulansa. Still to come, dietitians warn those on ketogenic diets, or simply put, keto, may die from consuming food with extremely low levels of carbohydrates.
In the short term, you might be losing the weight, but in the long term, you can have a cardiovascular event because of the increased LDL particles that you're getting that can clog your arteries.
You definitely don't want to miss this. Stay with us.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
Thank you for staying on the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. It's now time To let you know what's happening in the world of sports, Benedict Owusu has more.
Yes, Benison, the Confederation of African Football, that's CAF, has finalized the nominees for the various categories of the 2018 awards. Now, 34 players and 15 women players have been nominated for the flagship awards. Now, Player of the Year and Women's Player of the Year based on the performance of the players during the year. Ghana is fairly represented in the categories. My colleague Sewin Saki has more.
Black Stars midfielder Thomas Partey has made the 34-man shortlist for the African Football of the Year award. Partey has been impressive for both club and country, and his inclusion doesn't come as a surprise to many. Despite their early exit from this year's African Women's Championship, Ghana's senior national women's team, the Black Queens, have been the best women's national team of the year for 2018. Black Maidens captain Mukurama Abdullahi has been nominated for the CAF Women's African Player of the Year award. Mukurama is among 15 nominees for the top award, which also include Ghana Black Queens duo Portia Boachi and Elizabeth Addo. Mukurama's nomination is a reward for his sensational performance at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, where she bagged 7 goals in 4 games.
So that was my colleague Sewin Saki's report. Well, the CAF Confederation, that's the Confederation of African Football Executive Committee, are having a meeting at the Mövenpick Hotel. As we speak, and we understand that Cameroon have been stripped of the AFCON 2019. We will get confirmation on that at 1. And also, a lot of activities to expect this weekend. This afternoon in Cape Coast, there is a big game, Cameroon up against Mali, third place game, and the winner will join the already qualified African teams for the 2019 World Cup. Also, the big one is on Saturday, that's tomorrow.
Nigeria,
South Africa. A lot happening this weekend. 1 o'clock we'll be here with Locker Room, George Adu Jr.
Thank you very much, Benedict Owusu, with the latest from the world of sports. Let's go back to Parliament. Early today, the RTI coalition, or members of that coalition, were blocked from entering the chambers, and they went there to push for the passage of the Right to Information Bill. Our man Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us on the line. Hello, Joseph.
Hello.
How was the atmosphere in the House when members of the coalition got there?
And so a number of them had gathered at the entrance of Parliament in their red shirts, demanding that they be given the opportunity to come sit in the public gallery, which it is open for anyone at all to walk in and sit there and observe the proceedings in Parliament. But then they were stopped, and the explanation from the security team was that the letter that was written to Parliament telling the House that the RTI coalition wanted to hold this protest did not been copied, and so they were unaware that they were coming. Eventually, Haruna Iddrisu, the minority leader, intervened and demanded that they be allowed in before they were allowed in.
Absolute and unwavering commitment by Parliament and its leadership to ensure that the Right to Information Bill becomes law. We will work diligently and more assiduously in the coming days to get it passed. It's a matter of what business we have now. We are looking at budget estimates and matters of appropriation, which is equally important. But even along the line, we will be able to work through that. A number of clauses, amendment clauses, have been filed. And during the consideration stage of a bill, members are allowed to rise more than once. It's not a rule that you want to change necessarily because of an RTI. And there were a few amendments that the Honorable Frederick Opari was not immediately available when we got to that particular clause, but that's no excuse. Let me assure you that we remain committed to a sunshine legislation that helps you, the media, to fight corruption, to combat economic graft and economic crime, and to hold us responsible for our excesses and abuses through that particular legislation.
Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu Gakpo. So the members of the coalition were eventually allowed into the chamber. So what's happening now? Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Bennett.
Yes. I'm asking what's happening now.
So currently, there's a business statement that's been delivered that the House is still discussing in terms of the work that they would be doing next week. But even with the RTI coalition members, they are addressing the media right out here. One of the representatives, Alex Tete from the disability group, says that he was still prevented from entering the chamber because of his disability, which is something that the RTI coalition members are addressing the media on as I speak to you.
Thank you, Joseph Opoku-Gapo. We'll stay on this story and bring you updates from Parliament. Now, you may have recently heard about the story of a class 3 pupil who reported her teacher for allegedly caning him. Well, we are picking updates that teacher is traumatized and is currently on admission. My colleague Ohiming Teria joins us with more. Hello, Ohiming.
Hello.
Kindly explain to us why this teacher is on admission and why he's traumatized.
Thank you. The teacher in question is a class 3 teacher for Charity Preparatory School at Kronum in Kumasi. But 2 days ago, his own student, class 3 people in that regard, reported him to the Kronum police. The offense is that he punished the student by giving her a stroke of cane. That follows some sort of misbehavior by the people. So the people did not take kind to this, and she reported the teacher to the police without even the consent or knowledge of her parents. So when police officers were sent to the school to invite the teacher to the police station, and upon he follows up to the police station, the school authority says he has been traumatized, and since the incident, he has been on admission at the hospital.
Thank you very much, Ohiming Teria. There will bring you more on this as we get and gather information. Now, have you been filling your plate with meat and eggs and excessively reducing carbohydrates? Well, it might be helping you lose weight. Essentially, you are on a ketogenic diet. But as it's often and rightly said, there's no fast route to fitness. According to dietitians, this popular high-fat, low-carb diet can have devastating long-term health effects. Efwa Evans Chinri reports.
A keto diet typically includes plenty of meat, eggs, sausages, cheese, fish, nuts, butter, oils, seeds, and vegetables. It works on the principle that when starved of carbohydrates, the body turns to fats as a source of fuel by kickstarting a process called ketosis. Dietitians are warning that it is an extremely unhealthy way of losing weight. According to Nana Kofi Owusu, a dietitian and a lecturer at the University of Health and Allied Sciences, keto is not advisable as a weight loss method and can harm your body in the course of time.
People get fainting, people get terrible headaches, and that comes with calcium challenges. You can get dehydrated. That's where the kidney stones will come in. The bad cholesterol are bigger when you do keto for a long time, and that is where the danger is. In the short term, you might be losing the weight, but in the long term, you can have a cardiovascular event because of the increased LDL particles that you're getting that can clog your arteries and prevent the flow of blood. I'd say that the general healthy eating is the best way to lose your weight. Take little strides, that will give you giant gains. Why do you want to lose 10 kilos in a month?
That was Efwa Evans Chinri's report. I'm sure if you're on a ketogenic diet, you may be worried, but just see your dietitian and I'm sure you'll be given some advice. Mapito Sibiri, what's trending?
Well, hashtag RTI Red Friday. That's what people are talking about on Twitter. And at MC_Mafando says, I need a red top. And at If We Know You Know says, openness is fundamental to the political health of a modern state. Hashtag RTI Red Friday. Hashtag Occupy Ghana. Hashtag Pass RTI Bill now. And this one is from at Adubria, who says the RTI bill will ensure access to relevant information by every citizen. I believe this will ensure accountability and transparency whilst reducing the incidence of corruption across all levels of our governance structure. Hashtag RTI Red Friday mode activated.
Thank you, Mapito Sibiri. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you know we are part of that campaign. We are clad in red. Before we go, recap of our headlines. Shayo Sudoku Hospital still bleeding after bloody gun battle between armed men on its premises. We heard from the medical superintendent. And RTI Coalition storms Parliament to protest MPs' delay in the passage of the Right to Information Bill into law. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Bernice Abubeidu Lansa. Do enjoy the rest of your day.